Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
When people have nothing meaningful to say, they just keep talking, rambling, blabbing, filling the air with noise instead of substance. And that's exactly what voters are tired of. Shows like The View don't speak with Americans anymore, they talk at them. Completely disconnected from reality, convinced they represent the majority, when the truth is the majority has already tuned them out.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
For years, Whoopi Goldberg ruled The View like royalty, cutting off guests, bulldozing opposing opinions, treating her views as undeniable facts. Daytime TV bent around her tone, her smirk, her certainty. Until one moment, one guest, exposed just how fragile that control really was. And almost no one saw it coming.
I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good.
The episode started like any other. Smug laughs, eye rolls, a panel nodding in perfect unison. The usual script. Then Karoline Leavitt walked in, calm, composed, unfazed. Young, conservative, prepared. And suddenly the atmosphere shifted. Because this wasn't going to be another guest Whoopi could steamroll.
In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against me.
When the topic of wokeness came up, Whoopi took her shot. With a confident smirk, she pointed at Karoline and declared, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." That one sentence changed everything. The room tightened. Even Joy Behar shifted uncomfortably. It wasn't debate anymore, it was a personal dismissal.
Divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
Instead of backing down, Karoline stayed steady. No panic. No defensiveness. Just a slow, knowing smile. The kind that says, "You just underestimated me." And then she did something no guest had done in years. She brought receipts.
You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
Cold facts. Hard numbers. Government spending reports. Taxpayer money funneled into absurd woke initiatives. Overseas gender programs, ideological propaganda dressed as aid, social experiments exported abroad. Karoline connected the dots with precision. Wokeness wasn't just cultural anymore, it was political power.
Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. Right. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
And suddenly Whoopi wasn't laughing. The smirk disappeared. The interruption stopped. The woman known for controlling the room was now trapped in it. This wasn't a clever exchange. This was a collapse happening in real time.
They talk at you, not to you. And that's what she was doing. And she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the trail.
Karoline didn't stop. She spoke about borders, about national sovereignty, about loving your country without being labeled extreme, about how disagreement is now treated as moral failure. Calm, articulate, unshakable. Everything The View claims to support, but only when it comes from the right voices.
That you saw live on this program yesterday. Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
So you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit, and oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing, because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
Then came the moment that broke the room. Whoopi opened her mouth, and nothing came out. No comeback. No joke. No control. The audience sat frozen. Cameras hesitated. For the first time in years, daytime television didn't know where to look.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark. Because Karoline Leavitt worked, I mean, she went to St. Anselm College, she worked for WMUR
Ran
TV.
for Congress?
In New Hampshire, she ran for Congress at the age of 25, put out a very good campaign.
The internet noticed immediately. Clips went viral. Memes exploded. The silence spoke louder than any argument. People weren't cheering, they were witnessing something rare. Accountability on live TV.
She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant. Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives an... And this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job.
And this wasn't new behavior. Whoopi had dragged ABC into controversy after controversy, reckless comments, careless accusations, headline-grabbing outrage. But now the consequences were stacking up. Lawsuits, settlements, advertisers quietly stepping away.
Yeah.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
From Carrie Underwood to Elon Musk, accusations turned into legal nightmares. Behind the scenes, ABC executives scrambled. The View was no longer an asset, it was a liability. Ratings couldn't outweigh reputational damage forever.
The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our...
When Whoopi's time on the show ended, the network tried to spin it as a break. But everyone knew the truth. Her authority had cracked, live on air. And the real question remains. If wokeness is about inclusion, why are conservative women treated as enemies? Maybe the problem isn't dissent.